Author opinion of Dennis Keen at the history, geography and architecture, culture and life matters of Kazakhs in the program Discovering Kazakhstan.
Salam, привет, and hello. I'm Dennis Keen, and today on Discovering Kazakhstan, we are in the country's largest city, Almaty, to celebrate its annual holiday called Almaty Day. To mark the occasion, we're here at Alma Fest. Alma in Kazakh means apple, and the entire festival is built around celebrating this city's favorite fruit. We are in the thick of what locals call Golden Autumn. It is a hot September day, and it seems as if all of Almaty has come here to the park of the first president. The park was only built in 2011 on the southwest corner of the city, and with its majestic arches and fountains and fine landscaping, it's quickly become a local landmark. The centerpiece of the park is this huge fountain, which is in fact the biggest in the entire city. Along the edge, there are these springs where kids can play, and at night, the whole fountain lights up and dances along to classical music. Almaty is a pretty low-slung and low-density town, and it often feels quite spacious. But I've never seen crowds like this. Thousands of people out here to wish their beloved city a happy birthday. Almaty Day has been celebrated for about a decade now on the third weekend in September. But this year is very special because we're celebrating the 1,000 years of Almaty. Now, experts will admit that this date is rather arbitrary because without written records, it's hard to say just exactly when the first settlements here appeared. But anyways, this date has been chosen to remind people just how ancient this land is. The modern incarnation of Almaty can be dated to 1854, when the Russian Empire built a fort here at the foot of the Trans-Ili Alatau Mountains. But for hundreds of years before this, Kazakhs and their ancestors roamed these steppes, and here, in this yurt diorama, we can see various artifacts from this era. Long before there were Russian forts or presidential parks, nomads called Scythians lived in this region, crafting enchanting jewelry that features these distinctive beasts twisted in motion. Art historians call this animal style, and it's a beautiful legacy of the land where the modern city of Almaty came to be. One of the earliest artifacts of Almaty was a coin that was found from the Middle Ages that read, "Minted in Almaty." It turns out that during the time of the Silk Road, there was a major trading point here called Almaty, and eventually that became what we now know as Almaty. Here at Alma Fest, there are some young men dressed in traditional Kazakh costumes who are minting some coins of their own. So here at this new local mint of Almaty, they're taking these coins made of brass, and with a big hammer, they're stamping one of several designs into it. I've ordered one that says Almaty in English, so let's see how it turns out. You really got to beat on that hard. And let's take a look. Beautiful. So there it is in English with the famous Kuktabay TV tower on there, the Alatau Mountains, and of course, the Alma, the Almaty apple. To celebrate this region's ancient history, the festival also includes a showcase of ancient Kazakh music, played by friendly troubadours who invited visitors to sit and enjoy a free show. To get to the most beautiful part of the Park of the First President requires a bit of a hike, but you're rewarded with beautiful views of the city and the mountains. We're on top of a hill that was built to look like a kurgan, the traditional burial mound of the Scythians, the warriors who once roamed these steppes. One of my favorite books that I've read about this country in English is called Apples Are from Kazakhstan. And it tells the story about how all apples in the world can trace their roots back to the apple trees that grow wild here in the foothills of the Tian Shan. From the top of this kurgan, we have a beautiful view of these very mountains where these trees grow to this very day. The wild apples that are hidden in these mountains, growing up to 60 feet high, are a variety called Malus sieversii, and they were first discovered by scientists in the 18th century. But it was only in the last few years that scientists have discovered with a level of certainty that these sieversii apples spread throughout the world and became the apple that we know today, Malus domestica. Here on the southern edge of the city, there were some of the largest apple orchards in the entire Soviet Union. They were tended to by work brigades from nearby collective farms, such as one called Gorny Gigant. But when these farms fell apart after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the orchards started to wither. In the last 2 years, though, there's been something of a revival, and the apple industry has come roaring back in Kazakhstan. If you want evidence of this revival, just look at this huge farmers market that they've set up at the heart of Alma Fest. Dozens of farms have brought more than 100 tons of apples. And with 30 varieties on the menu, I can't wait to go try some of them for myself. Wandering through the stalls at Alma Fest, there's one question that you hear over and over again. Do you have any apport? Apport is the most legendary of Almaty apple cultivars. In 1865, from the Russian city of Voronezh, and it took quite well to the local climate. It quickly became famous for its very strong scent, its beautiful appearance, and for its size. This one is rather small, but it can weigh up to a kilogram. Being around apples all day seems to really cheer people up because all the sellers here are super nice. They'll give you samples of just about anything you ask for. And this caught my eye here. This is the local sort that's not quite local. They call it the Americanka, or the American apple. And it looks a lot like our Red Delicious. So maybe I can try one of these and see how it tastes. Oh, well, it looks like the Red Delicious. Tastes just like at home, but here in the motherland of apples. Despite the name, this apple festival includes much more than just local fruit. To celebrate the creative people of this 1,000-year-old city, craftspeople and vendors were invited from around town to show off their specialties. This is pretty cool. So in Almaty, all of the apartment blocks have these inner courtyards called dvors, and almost every courtyard has these pull-up bars. They call it turniki. So guys who grow up in this kind of neighborhoods, they grow really strong just working out on these pull-up bars, and they learn how to do all these different tricks. So here, they're showing off their amazing strength. City holidays like Almaty Day and these festivals like Alma Fest bring all of the young people of the city out into the parks to celebrate and to rest. So Sumbat is one such young Kazakh girl who's come here to see the Apple Fest. So what was your favorite part of the festival so far?
When the singers sing his new songs, it's my favorite part.
So your favorite part was the music. We heard some Kazakh music. And there were some Kazakh singers here today?
Yes, they are 9 to 1. 9
to 1, okay. So cool new Kazakh band. But of course, the festival is also about apples. So were you able to try any of the apples at the Apple Bazaar?
Yes, when I go Apple Bazaar, I bought a lot of apple and it was tasty.
Very tasty.
Tasty.
Now, which was the tastiest?
It is apport apple.
So you can see that the apport is an apple that people here really adore. They're really proud of it. And in general, people in Almaty are proud of their city. So Sumbat, you're from Almaty. What do you love about your city, Almaty?
I love Almaty. I love mountain, apple, to live, to walk, and etc.
So there's a lot to love here in Almaty, whether it's the apples, the mountains, the beautiful scenery here, and you can spend days here just falling in love with the city. I know that I did once upon a time. If you come here and visit, though, there's no better day to visit than Almaty Day here in September. And I'm glad that you could come along with us today as we explored Alma Fest. So thank you for joining us. Hope you come along with us next time. I'm Dennis Keen, and this has been Discovering Kazakhstan.